Howdy, folks. I'm Sweet Snowflake softly sailing towards snowy scapes.
I'm Amber.
And here are more snowy scapes for us to sail towards. Except for it wasn't a snowy scape, it was Reddit all along. And we smashed straight into it. Let's get started. Alright, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Changing in Front of a Cat? I'm a 20-year-old male and my sister is a 25-year-old female, and she is staying over for the holidays. And she brought her cat along with her since it's an extended visit. Her cat is very sneaky and likes to explore, which means when she saw how I left my bedroom door open to take a shower, she went right in. When I got out of the shower, I found her in my room sitting on my TV stand. I tried to lead her out of my room, but she stayed put. I didn't want to put my hands on her because she's feisty and will bite or scratch anyone that tries to touch her that isn't my sister. I knew that it wouldn't take long to put on some underwear and a shirt, so I just let her be and I did my thing. By the time that I was done, she was waiting at the door to be let out, so I let her out of my room. My sister noticed her coming out of my room, and knowing that I had just taken a shower, asked if I had gotten dressed in front of her. I said yes, and she seemed visibly disturbed and told me about how gross that was, and she told me to never do it again because it's creepy. I can see how she feels that way, but ultimately I don't see a problem. It took me less than 30 seconds to get dressed, and after all, her cat is naked around everyone all the time. Is there actually anything wrong with what I did, or am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk. And this is a really strange thing for your sister to get upset about. We're talking about a cat here. Like, I've known people who have cats who will like follow them to the bathroom and like they just want to hang out with the people.
Yeah.
There's nothing like intimate about this. The cat is not being traumatized by seeing you naked. The cat's just like, whatever, I'm gonna do my thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think that OP's sister's suggestion that it's creepy is a little more creepy
Mm-hmm.
than OP changing in front of the cat, right? Because her saying it's creepy implies that there's something kind of untoward going on here, right? I mean, it's just a cat. Cats don't care if humans are naked or not in front of them. They don't really have a concept of nakedness. So I just feel that she's overreacting here pretty severely. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. But folks, let's see what the Wheel of Judgment has to say on this. Wheel of Judgment, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the judgment that OP's earned. Everyone needs therapy, including me.
Yeah, thanks to Opie's sister's suggestion.
Yeah, now I need therapy. Alright, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling My Wife to Stop Being Insecure and that there was nothing inappropriate about my sister giving me a sibling ring? A couple of nights ago, we had a Christmas party at my house, where we also did gift-giving celebrations. When I opened my gift for my sister, I saw that it was a ring, and my sister also had a handwritten note there. I read the note out loud, and it was a sibling ring to be worn on the ring finger of my right hand. Now, I'm not going to lie, I've never heard of a sibling ring ever in my life, but I thought that this was a really sweet gift. Then I wore the ring on my right hand. The ring also looked really expensive and fancy, and I was scared to ask my sister the price of the ring. But it looked really good on my hand. Everyone thought that it was a great gift. But when I spoke to my wife later that night, she said that it was completely inappropriate and that it overshadows my wedding ring. I asked my wife what was inappropriate about it, and my wife couldn't give me a straightforward answer. I told my wife to stop being insecure, and there was nothing inappropriate about a sweet gesture. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, something about this one does feel off to me, and I wish I had more information about the dynamics here. Because I don't think there's inherently anything wrong with giving your sibling jewelry, like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
BFF ring for siblings or something like that. But whereas it being, it sounds like a very expensive ring, that seems a little like, unless the sister is like loaded and can hand out money like it's water,
Yeah.
uh, it seems a little extravagant.
Yeah, the question kind of I have is, was this done specifically to upstage the wedding band, or was it done just as kind of like just a nice kind act of kindness, right?
Right.
I think that it really depends on the sister's motivation here, and I do think that there's more information needed. But I mean, let me pose the question to you in this respect, right?
Hmm.
I think I agree with you completely before I actually do, that siblings giving each other jewelry is just fine. We've had several episodes where, a guy has given his sister a ring and it's, just fine. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But would you feel the same if, like, a brother, for instance, gave a really, really expensive ring that was, like, more valuable than their engagement or wedding band?
That would definitely feel like showing up to me, like, because engagement rings are kind of like status symbols. Wedding bands less so, but like it was specifically more expensive than the engagement band, then like that would feel to me like he's trying to show up the husband, and would feel a little icky. Like again, unless he's like loaded and can throw money around like water, but even then, like it would kind of feel to me like, is this like just a genuine gift, or is this trying to show your husband's worthless? Look what more I can do for you.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a tricky situation in that respect. And then, I mean, to add a layer of complication to it too, men's wedding bands tend to be pretty plain.
Yeah.
They aren't ornate and they don't have a lot, probably are generally not that expensive, right? So you could buy pretty much any decorative jewelry and it might be more expensive than a male's wedding band.
Right. But like, I mean, sibling rings aren't really a thing here, but like from what I understand, like the best friend jewelry tends to be relatively inexpensive.
Yeah.
Usually they're necklaces from what I've seen, like, like the half hearts where you put it together, have best friends and stuff like that. I'm sure they have elaborate versions for the really wealthy, but those tend to be not that expensive.
Yeah.
And the other thing that baffles me about this is that it's sibling rings, but it doesn't sound like she has a ring.
Yeah, I was actually going to kind of touch on that point. When I was looking up sibling rings the other day, I was trying to figure out, how realistic this was or not, right? And like they do have sibling rings, right? They are available, but they usually come in pairs. You get one and then your sibling gets one. And so it's kind of symbolic that you're both wearing them. And the ones that I saw were like $40 for a pair of rings, right? So it makes me wonder, like, why doesn't she have one?
They're like a nice sentimental thing. And I can understand why you'd want one in like a metal that's not going to tarnish or something like that. But it feels more than just like a symbol of their sibling relationship at this point in time. I guess that's what rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, I mean, I really have a hard time judging that aspect because I just don't have the details.
Yeah.
But I could see it easily turning that direction.
And so, like, I want to know more about what's his relationship with his sister, like, in general. How does she feel about the wife? Is there competition between them?
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, I had to tell my employee about my intimate adult life, and then I had to report him to HR. I'm a 27-year-old female, and I'm a supervisor of a small team at work. I always get good leadership reviews and think that I foster a pretty healthy team dynamic. Well, I have a coworker, a 35-year-old male, on said team. About 3 weeks ago, he approached me and said that he had a personal question and he wanted to talk to me about it. I keep my personal life pretty distant from work, but I keep an open door for them to come in to me with any personal stuff that might impact their work, like needing a smaller workload to deal with things at home or anything like that, so this wasn't totally abnormal. So we went to my office, and without reiterating the entire conversation, he said that he noticed some bruising hidden by my makeup and hair, and some faintly broken blood vessels by the corner of my eye. He asked if I was being abused and offered help if I was. To make it very clear, I'm not being abused. I have an amazing husband, and we've been experimenting in the bedroom, and it's gotten a little rough, and I bruise easily. And that's all there is to it. I told him how much I appreciate his offer of support, and I tried to lighten the mood by saying that his attention to detail is part of the reason why he is good at his job. But I made it very clear that I'm completely safe and there is nothing to worry about. I didn't think that I could exactly explain the bruising without getting a mandatory sexual harassment course, and I didn't want to explain my sex life to a coworker. He apologized, and I assured him that it was fine and good to know that he would watch out for me. And we got back to work. I got a better concealer, and I thought that that was the end of it. But the next few weeks, he just wouldn't let it go. I kept noticing him staring, trying to see if I had any bruising or signs of abuse. He would make woke comments about women overcoming abuse, would give me sympathetic looks. It was just all so uncomfortable. So I called him into my office last week and I told him again that I'm fine and I would appreciate it if our working relationship returned to normal. He then went off on me with stats about abuse and how I can't deny it or hide it and he can save me. I just got a bad feeling about it, and frankly, I got kind of defensive. Without much thought, I calmly told him, if you must know, I have an active, adult, intimate life, and a husband who is willing to try new things, and I've always bruised easily. I'm sure you can put it all together, so please just drop this savior complex. It shut him up pretty quickly, and he left. Since then, his behavior has changed again, and he's been hostile towards me, and is withholding work that I need from him so that I can do my job, taking me off of email chains that I need to be on, etc. I decided to go to HR and I explained the entire thing. She said that this was a first in her career, and when I told her that I would accept any consequences of my little blow up on him, she held back a laugh and said that I had nothing to worry about. Sure, I could have brought it to HR right then, but probably wouldn't have been able to do much to change his behavior. I don't know what conversation they had with him, but he turned in his letter of resignation 2 days later, and that's that. It's just been a couple of weird weeks, and I stumped an HR pro. All right, folks, what do you think of this?
I mean, I don't think Opie did anything wrong here. I think the coworker is very much in the wrong, and I think we're seeing some ulterior motives at play. Like, approaching her at first, that was perfectly fine and reasonable. If you are concerned that, someone may be being abused, there's nothing wrong with letting them know that you're there if you need them. But as soon as she let him know that she was safe, that was his cue to step back. It seems like he was intent on saving her, and if I had to guess, I'm suspecting he wanted to get with her and wanted to be, swoop in and save her from this one relationship so she'd be indebted to him and want to be with him. Because as soon as she tells him, no, I have a happy life with my husband, he goes, flips a switch and is like hostile to her, cutting her off, email chains, not letting her have the work she needs to get her job done, like completely trying to sabotage her.
Yeah. I mean, this is a difficult situation. And I mean, I think I agree with at least some of your assessment here. Like, the thing is, like, if you think that someone's being abused, the best you can do is tell them that you're there for them, right? You can't force someone to get help. So even if OP had been being abused, the right course of action would have been to be like, I'm here for you if you need anything, so on and so forth, right? As for whether he's interested in her or not, I think you make a compelling argument. I mean, I think that there's a lot there, and I think that he could very well be interested in her and is now feeling like a scorned lover, so to speak. And because it's a little bit of a disproportional reaction, right?
Right, because if he was just concerned about her and she let him know there's nothing to be concerned about, like, I don't know why he would flip completely into now trying to sabotage her.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of a weird reaction, and I feel like it is disproportional to like what she's said here. He's acting like she's personally affronted him by not accepting his gracious offer of help, right?
Right. And I mean, it could be other things. It could be, that he has some problematic views about what kind of marital relations people have and whatnot. Like, it's not, there's no guarantee that he's interested in her, but no matter what, his response was completely inappropriate. You should not be sabotaging your coworkers.
Exactly. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling My Mother-in-Law Not to Give My Kids Presents from Santa? My mother-in-law every year gives gifts from Santa even though all of her children are older and don't believe. Ever since marrying into the family, I thought that it was strange, but it didn't disrupt the family harmony until this year. My son is now 4 and is understanding Santa. My husband and I talked and decided that we wanted to be the only ones giving gifts from Santa this year. Well, first week in December, my husband called my mother-in-law and said, hey, we don't want you to do Santa gifts for the boys. And she said that she understood. Fast forward to December 22nd, and she asked me in front of the whole family if I would be okay for Santa to leave presents for the boys at her house. I said, no, you already discussed this with my husband, your son. Things got heated. I was mad. So I was curious, am I the jerk for telling my mother-in-law this? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, I don't think OP's in the wrong. I mean, I think mother-in-law is in the wrong for cornering OP like that. It seems like she wanted to force OP to agree. when she'd already been told not to do this.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was really in poor taste for her to try to do this publicly, to basically corner OP or coerce OP into allowing her to do this, because it feels more like she was using the crowd pressure to basically get her way.
Exactly. That's what it feels like. Like if she had a problem, she should have talked to OP's husband when he first mentioned it. But instead, she waited until she had OP in a setting, a public, not private setting, and then said it in front of. It seems like her whole family, so not OP's whole family probably, but mother-in-law's family, people who are going to side with her.
So I think that OP might have a little bit of an odd hill to die on here, to be quite honest. Like, it's a kind of a small thing. Like, oh, why? I could see there are probably some legitimate reasons on why you wouldn't want to have like Santa gifts. Like, if you were trying to do price controlling or trying to make sure that the kids weren't getting like too many gifts from Santa or whatnot.
Yeah, because Santa's kind of tricky in that, like, we tell kids that Santa gives good kids gifts, but kids' gifts are proportional to parents' income. I really wish that if people were going to do Santa gifts, they would be like consistently small things, so that it wasn't like, oh, the poor kids are bad in Santa's eyes because they're not getting very good gifts.
Yeah. So I can certainly understand why they would have a problem with that aspect of it if they were trying to do something like that. But since this is like a tradition that she does and she's done it for a long time, I can understand her feeling maybe hurt and left out and maybe even targeted, that this is specifically towards her because she's done this particular thing before OP even was in the family, it sounds like. So I understand that aspect of it, but I think that the way that she handled it was inappropriate.
Right. Like, she's allowed to have her feelings about it, and she's allowed to like this tradition and whatnot, and to be sad that it's over. But at the end of the day, it's OP and her husband's decision, and she should not try, cornering people to force them to do her will. It shows a clear, like, I want to trample on your rules and whatnot.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What do cats say to ring in 2025?
Oh, meowy Christmas. And happy new year.
Happy Mew Year. So. And today is Happy New Year for Cats Day.
Yes. And I have Earl Grey. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Friday, Junior, folks.
Happy Friday, Junior.
Thanks so much to Amber for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance. And please have it on inappropriate things to do or say.
Don't sabotage your coworkers.
Don't sabotage your coworkers isn't an inappropriate thing to say. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.